Imagine spending years building a life with someone you thought you'd grow old with, only to find out they never really knew who you were. That's exactly what happened to me. Growing up, I watched money destroy my family. When my grandfather died, everyone fought over his inheritance, brothers became enemies, cousins sued each other, people who hadn't called him in years suddenly acted like they deserved everything. That day I made myself a promise: if I ever became successful, I'd never let money decide who loved me. Years later, I started a software company in my garage. There were nights I slept on the floor, days I questioned if I should quit, but somehow it worked. One client turned into 10, 10 turned into 100. Before I knew it, my company was worth more money than I ever dreamed of having, but my life didn't change. I still drove my old pickup, I still wore cheap clothes, I still lived in the same house. Nobody knew who I really was. Then I met Emily. She made me laugh. She never cared about expensive gifts. She always told me she'd rather spend time together than spend money. I honestly believed I'd found the one. We dated for 3 years. Then we got married. I wanted to tell her everything, I really did. But I had one dream. On our 5th anniversary, I was going to surprise her. I'd take her to the office, show her the company, hand her the keys to our dream house, then tell her, I waited because I wanted to know you loved me before any of this. I replayed that moment in my head hundreds of times. It was supposed to be the happiest day of my life. Instead, it never happened. About 4 months before our anniversary, something changed. She smiled at her phone constantly. She started working late. She guarded her messages. Every excuse made sense by itself. But together, something felt wrong. I kept telling myself I was overthinking it. I wanted to believe that. Then one Tuesday, I left work early because I wasn't feeling well. On the way home, I stopped to grab her favorite coffee. I remember thinking maybe we'd spend the afternoon together. As I pulled into the driveway, I noticed another truck, Ryan's. My best friend since college, the guy who stood next to me on my wedding day. I smiled. I figured he was just stopping by. I walked inside. The house was silent. I called their names. Nothing. Then I heard laughter upstairs. I slowly climbed the steps. With every step, my stomach sank. The bedroom door was cracked open. I pushed it just enough to look inside. Everything stopped. My wife was kissing my best friend. Nobody noticed me at first. Then Ryan looked up. The color drained from his face. The coffee slipped out of my hand and crashed onto the floor. Emily spun around. She started crying immediately. Ryan kept saying he could explain, but there wasn't anything left to explain. The two people I trusted most had betrayed me. I didn't scream. I didn't fight. I didn't even cry. I just turned around, walked out the front door, and drove away. The next morning, I called my attorney. I want a divorce. A week later, Emily wanted to talk. She thought maybe we could fix things. I told her it was too late. Then came the financial paperwork. She assumed we'd split a normal savings account. Maybe the house, maybe retirement. She had no idea. When her attorney opened the documents, he thought there had been a mistake. The company, the investments, the commercial buildings, everything. She looked at me with tears in her eyes. You owned all of this? I nodded. I was going to tell you on our anniversary. She didn't say another word. She just cried. Not because of the money, but because she realized she had thrown away the one person who loved her enough to hide everything just to know her love was real. A few days later, I found the anniversary letter I'd written months before. It ended with one sentence. Thank you for loving me before you knew what I had. She never got to read it. Sometimes people think this story is about money. It isn't. Money can be earned again. Companies can be rebuilt, but once trust is broken, some things can never be put back together.